you're watching the Daily Report, Mheshimiwa Ruku and Mheshimiwa Nyuto are still here with us. Mheshimiwa Nyuto, as you react to perhaps what the Honourable Member has spoken about earlier on, looking at progress, don't you think that perhaps, as he says, in terms of the macroeconomics, do you at least agree to some extent, your side of the camp, that there is some improvement or there is none at all?
Well, I think it is true that our fertilizer prices have come down. Yes. That is true. Of course, we do not want to just condemn and oppose things just for the sake of it. That is true. But then even as unga prices come down, we must look at all the factors that have led to this decline in the prices of unga. And of course, rains have contributed a great deal to it, because when this government took over, I think we had about 4 successive seasons where we had not had sufficient rainfall. And so one of the contributing factors to the lower price of unga has actually been natural, that is the rains. But of course, then I want to give it to them that the low fertilizer prices, of course, have also maybe done it. But we also need to look at this, because they do not mention about any other commodity. They only mention about unga. What is the price, especially now, the price of sugar at the moment? How is it? Is it low? Is it high? And I think I would want to hear my brother here tell us about sugar, tell us about edible oils and cooking fat, because the prices of those particular products have shot over the roof. So these macroeconomic indicators that Honorable Ruku keeps talking about, well, it's good even to talk about, a low level of, a low percentage in inflation, that inflation rates have come down, but can Kenyans feel it in their pockets? Because Kenyans, fine, we may understand ourselves what macroeconomic indicators are, but we want the impact of these things that we keep being told about go to the pockets of Kenyans, to be felt by Kenyans. Otherwise, then the benefits of these macroeconomic indicators are going to a few individuals, because Kenyans are yet to feel this particular improvement in the rate of inflation. Now, when Honorable Ruku tells us that roads and electrification projects will be done going forward, he should remember that Kenyans have been promised these things so many times. So what Honorable Ruku is doing is just adding into the basket of promises. And unfortunately, Kenyans are not now receptive to this. They actually don't trust these promises. So I think, let's see, then we compare notes there. But if it's a promise, if it is not happening, Kenyans are not ready to listen to that.
Okay.
Honorable Ruku should also tell us this affordable housing. He has said something very, very interesting, that a Mama Boga can be able to own a house by paying 3,000 Kenya shillings every month. And I did a quick computation, and 3,000 for 1 year will be 36,000. The cheapest, the last time I checked, the cheapest house in the affordable housing scheme was it 900,000 or something like that. And there is a deposit to be raised. It is not just a matter of paying 3,000 per month. And so I think I would want him to elaborate more. And what is wrong also with this affordable housing program is the fact that this is not being done from usual or normal government revenue, like you do roads. Remember, there is a deduction from people like you, like me, like Ruku, from the payslip. So this is not something that government is doing. This is something where government is taxing Kenyans, is not even actually taxing Kenyans. It is getting money from Kenyans to do this project. And there are so many things. If we started discussing about housing program, this affordable housing program, we would be here the whole night and we still would not finish. We heard what the Federation of Kenyan Employers said the other day, that taxes are taking almost half, 50% of what Kenyan employees are earning. And unfortunately, the Secretary General of Court, Francis Atwoli, instead of speaking for workers whose pay slips have been raided by this government to levels not hitherto seen, he is in bed with government, praising the government instead of fighting for the rights of workers. I tell you, Maringa, we have to bring this coalition, because the way things are, almost every other sector of this economy has been captured. Every other sector that can speak for the rights of Kenyans has been captured. Only this new coalition can bring a change.
The Kenya Kwanza administration was talking of state capture, Mheshimiwa Ruku, in the run-up to the 2022 elections. Do you feel that that's the same quote-unquote curse that the administration has befallen this administration? And even as you respond, what is this with galvanizing the Western vote? Is it true that perhaps the president is banking on the Western vote following the exit of the AUC candidate?
Talking about Western, President William Ruto was in Western Kenya mainly because of the revival of the sugar industry in the Western region. Remember, at the moment, Kenya is sufficient on sugar local consumption, that we don't need to import sugar from COMESA countries or from Brazil or from other countries. Out of the policies and the program that this government had put in place, it is many years ago when Kenya was sugar sufficient. That's something which needs to be acknowledged. Number two, it's for the first time after very many years that this government is giving bonus to the sugar farmers in the Western Kenya. Something which has not happened for a decade. Farmers in the Western Kenya are enjoying the bonus. They are smiling all the way to the bank to get the bonus. Something which has not happened for years. So this is something positive, that indeed the macroeconomic indicators of this country are moving in the right direction. When you talk about the education sector, from 2022 December to now, this government has employed 76,000 teachers. Now, the many parents who have been employing BOM teachers, I have many schools in my constituency.
Okay.
And you move from one school to the other, you find that the parents are getting into their pocket to pay BOM teachers because of the shortage of teachers, which as we have been experiencing in our schools. At the moment, you go from one school to the other, and you find that is one or two teachers who parents are paying. So we are moving in the right direction. 76,000 teachers have been employed since Kenya Kwanza Coalition, government came into power. Jamani, Kenya Power, an institution which has never made profit over the years, it declared that $1 billion Kenya shilling profit this year. Last year. Kenya Airways, an institution which has been making losses year in, year out, it has now declared profit 2 years consecutively. That means the Kenya Kwanza government, led by William Ruto, is making the right economic decisions moving forward. And you're going to see more institutions making profit, and hence, the more profit they make, the more we create employment. It's a fact.
Okay.
That I don't need to mention about the fuel prices. When this government was coming to power, 1 liter of petrol was 210. At the moment, it's 178. That's a fact, because of prudent management of the economy. We don't want to mention about the exchange rate. I mentioned about it. You don't need to mention about the unga prices. You don't need to mention about the deficit, the economy we have been able to manage our international liabilities as well as local liabilities the most prudent way.
On state capture. Huh? On the issue of state capture, Mheshimiwa Nyeto is talking about state capture.
Which is
of institutions, and it's what before the 2022 elections, the Kenya Kwanza side had accused the administration of the time of state capture. Do you think that that state capture is what has befallen the Kenya Kwanza administration?
Kenya Kwanza administration is obeying the rule of law in this country. Any order given by the courts, the Kenya Kwanza administration is obeying the rule of law. I don't think there is any state capture as far as from where I sit. The police are there to do their job. That's why I said, let the Inspector General tell us what is happening as far as abductions are concerned.
Okay.
That is wrong. It should not be encouraged. In terms of the rule of law, the Kenya Kwanza administration is any ruling from the court, we obey, whether it is whether we agree with the ruling or not, we obey. And we have seen even when it comes to a finance bill being declared unconstitutional, we obey, even if we disagree. When it comes to issues with appointment of CSs, we obey, even if we don't agree. You know, Kenya Kwanza believes in the rule of law.
Oh, okay. Mheshimiwa Nyeto.
I forgot to say something about abductions and the IG of the police. Now, Honorable Ruku reminds me about it when he says the IG of police should deal with the abductions. Information out there is that the IG of the police is actually not in command of the abduction squad. And what they are doing, actually I can tell you, Maringa, that Kanja is not wanted to as IG of police. And I can tell you the road that Koome traveled and was taken is the same. So this abduction squad, we have information that this abduction squad is operating from somewhere without, that is not within the command of the IG. What they are doing, and that's why Ruku has mentioned about the IG and what he should be doing so many times, because they want to remove him. They also want to remove Mother Koome from as the Chief Justice, but that is a story for another day.
Okay.
Responding to about the issues that my brother Ruku has raised, I mean, we have seen the president launching transformers in Western Kenya. We have seen the president flagging off, were they for electricity poles? I mean, it was embarrassing to say the least. And you know, when you talk about bonus, Honorable Ruku, I don't think it's given by government. Bonus should come from the sale of the produce that the farmers take to the factory. So I think that is something that I may need to explain. But what is very pitiable in Ruku's argument is about education. I'm an educationist, Maringa, and I understand education very well. It is true. This government has employed very many teachers. In fact, I give credit to government for the numbers employed by this government since it came from power to power is a huge number. But most of these teachers are actually interns, and that is a fact. Over 3/4 of them are interns. Those employed as on permanent and pensionable basis are just about a quarter.
Maringa,
but anyway, I don't know.
That's not true.
You'll get your time.
No, that's not true.
You'll get your time.
Let's give him.
You'll get your time. Yeah. One thing that regarding education that Honorable Ruku has completely evident is the burning issues in our educational institutions. And the issues are specialization of these teachers that are being employed in junior secondary school. A teacher posted to teach junior secondary school, remember, Maringa, that a high school teacher is trained to handle 2 subjects. But you find a junior secondary school teacher being maybe just one in the whole school. So being forced to teach other subjects that they are not qualified in. And that is a challenge. And I do not want to blame government for that. What I'm saying is teachers are not enough, especially in junior secondary school, because of subject specialization, and something needs to be done. Honorable Ruku has avoided completely, when he was talking about the progress made in educational institutions, he has avoided talking about the issue of capitation that does not arrive in school accounts, that does not hit the school accounts in time, and sometimes the end of year will come before the whole amount that is due to the schools go. And our secondary schools especially are in trouble as we speak, and the principals have been talking about this. I think that is something that needs to be addressed and that Roko should tell us. JSS classes, especially grade 9 classes, has been all over the media. We have seen the parents when schools were opening. We saw parents doing some funny, structures just even to accommodate the grade 9 learners. And those are issues that need to be addressed. Those are issues that Roko should tell us what the government is doing about, or now talking about a profit made by KPLC and KQ. What was the role of government? So what we should be saying is, if management in KPLC and KQ has improved, and that is why maybe there is profitability, then we should give credit to the managers in those particular institutions and not the government. What does the government have to do with profitability of KPLC and KQ? It's all about management. Did the government take any business there that it was not taking there? I mean, let us get this information. And one lie my brother told, and because that's a lie, and I have a lot of respect for him, he's my friend. The cost of fuel was not 210 shillings when the Kenya Kwanza government came to power. It was actually 145 shillings. And if I can tell you what happened, was that the president, and it was a very good argument, said that going forward, the government
you can't allow these enterprise to
you will get your time.
To continue
Government, what the president did, said when he came to power, said government was not going to subsidize consumption, it was going to subsidize production. And immediately, the cost, and these are things on record, the cost of fuel shot from 145 to about 165. And the justification given then, which was reasonable, was that the government was not going to continue, subsidizing, consumption, but production. So the price was not 210. It was 165, then it progressively rose to over 200 shillings. Now, if you're talking about an achievement, talk about, from the 200 shillings that the government had raised the fuel cost of fuel to what we have now.
All right.
Yes, so let us use fact.
Okay.
Yes.
Mheshimiwa Ruku.
Fact number 1.
Yes.
A government comprises of registration, executive, and judiciary. So myself and my brother here, we are part of government, and we should be part of those people who are offering solutions to the people of the Republic of Kenya, to the problems which are facing the people of the Republic of Kenya. The junior secondary framework, which is being implemented at the moment by the government of the Republic of Kenya, is through a motion which I tabled on the floor of the House in the year 2023. And the motion was to discuss, to get it right, as far as 2 issues are concerned. 1, to develop a comprehensive junior secondary school policy in order to regularize and anchor the guidelines under the Basic Education Act 2012 to ensure junior secondary schools are established and operated in each and every primary school in the Republic of Kenya. Number 2, was to ensure that we have a clear implementation framework of competence-based curriculum at the junior secondary schools, and provide a funding plan for successive implementation of the curriculum. We discussed and we came up with quite a number of challenges which are facing the junior secondary schools implementation. 1, inadequate infrastructure. 2, inadequate teachers training. 3, limited access of technology. 4, lack of parental and community involvement. 5, overburdening the parent. 6, curriculum overload, and several others. And we came up with solutions. Okay? That motion was passed at the National Assembly. And we called the Minister of Education then to come to the for a Kamukoji so that we can discuss how this is going to be implemented. And we keep on checking the progress. So, you know, when Nyoto is here lamenting and is not offering any solution, and he's a member of parliament who should be solving some of these problems, it means he's not worthy, you know, sitting in some of these positions. Number 2, we are talking about the profit making of the institutions, and that it is not out of the government. Myself and Honorable Jane Kagiri forwarded another motion on restructuring of independent power producers and PPAs, what you call power purchase agreement, which Kenya government entered into. And this power purchase agreement cannot be revoked. And it entered into this power purchase agreement that some of them are extremely expensive. So we have been having very expensive power in the Republic of Kenya. So how do we restructure some of these things so that Kenya Power can make profit and so that Kenyans can enjoy cheaper power? Okay. These are some of the things which we have discussed on the floor of our House, offered solutions which have been implemented through the Ministry of Energy, so that we can have a turnaround at the Kenya Power and Lighting Company.
Let's enter the home stretch.
So, Jameni, you know, we have to be more innovative, we have to be creative, we have to think on solutions which we can offer as members of parliament to Kenyans. But if we are elected to say president and his government, president and his executive, they are responsible of giving solutions to all the problems affecting the people of the Republic of Kenya, we are not worthy to be elected. We are elected to go there so that we can think creatively, innovatively, and come up with motions. Because anything that is discussed on the floor of the House, Maringa, it is not discussed in vain. House Parliament is an extremely powerful institution. Anything that is passed on the floor of their House, it is implemented. It is law. It is implemented, and anybody who or any institution which fails to implement what is passed on the floor of the House, action can be taken.
Okay.
Senator here should be telling us what is he doing on the floor of the Senate to ensure some of these problems Kenyans are facing.
Let's enter
getting solutions.
Let's enter the home stretch.
So I have given you 2 solutions.
Yes.
The JSS education, why we are getting it right in a gradual manner, in terms of cost of power and Kenya Power turning around, why we are getting it right. It is through actions of some of us, some of the members of parliament, taking an initiative to go there and try to bring other members together so that they can discuss on getting the solution. It's not about the Minister of Energy. It's not about the Minister of Education. It is also our responsibility as members of parliament to offer solutions which can guide some of these sectors.
Let's enter the home stretch, and let's take a question here. Denish Odhiambo says, what is the alternative agenda this new political formation is coming with? Making Ruto a one-term president cannot be an agenda. What do you have to say to Denish Odhiambo?
Thank you. The agenda is not to make Ruto a one-term president. The agenda is to correct the problems. I mean, it is to correct the situation that, of course, has arisen from the presidency of His Excellency William Ruto. So it's not It's about the issues affecting Kenyans and issues that this government has not been able to solve. And I think these are issues that we had talked about in the beginning. I mean, the issues that Kenyans are raising about in fact, even security, independence, even respect to Kenyans, our women. Those are the issues that we are talking about. The economy and all these things. So it's not about who is president. It's about what the regime is doing, and I mean whether it has shown any interest in whether it shows any remorse for the problems that are there, because there is no remorse. That's why, like I started by saying, they have been justifying abductions by saying that parents should bring up their children well. I mean, there is no remorse. So then it means that such things would still continue because the current regime does not think that it is wrong. So what we are saying is, it is not about removing President William Ruto from power. It's about bringing a change to address the problems that Kenyans have, because this government has not shown any indication that it is ready to change.
Closing remarks, Mheshimiwa Nyuto, and then Mheshimiwa Ruku, and then Nyuto. What do we, for 2025, what will Kenya Kwanza ensure that it has delivered to Kenyans moving forward?
2025 is the year when Kenya Kwanza administration is going to implement the plan after getting right the macroeconomic parameters, and the plan which was envisaged through the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza is going to be implemented, and Kenyans are going to see it as we move forward towards the months of the year 2025. We are going to see quite a number of projects coming up, which are going to alleviate or solve a number of problems which are affecting Kenyans. For instance, my constituency, we are looking forward to electrification, getting power to the household, getting more water connection to the household, and also tarmacking of more kilometers of road within my constituency. This is going to happen not only in my constituency, but in quite a number of constituencies in the Republic of Kenya. From where I sit, we request all the Kenyans to support this administration.
Okay. Mheshimiwa Nyuto?
Thank you very much.
And what you can even respond to what else, what more formations do you expect to see in the coming days?
Well, maybe I can start with that.
Those formations will be very inconsequential.
It's my time, Honorable Ruku. Most of, starting with formations,
yes.
Maringa, you expect so many people that are in government, including somebody like my friend Honorable Ruku here, joining us, because towards the end of 2026, and mark those words, I know you keep, you have you keep your data. By 2020, the end of 2026, call us here, God willing, with Honorable Ruku. Most likely, he'll be on our side. I may not be on their side, but he'll be on our side. Why? Because, in fact, even many cabinet ministers you are seeing here are very, very demoralized. And most of them will resign, and they'll be with us before the end of next year. Because what is happening, this government, Ruku is here talking about this government, but this government is a one-man show, and so you expect that the people, people are very demoralized, but at the right time, they are going to decamp and join our side. What I may want to say in conclusion is, let's not continue over-promising Kenyans. And what Honorable Ruku has has done very well here, is continuing with the same problem, over-promising. Don't talk about especially new projects. Can this government implement? Can this government keep the promises that it has made in the past? Can it implement the program, the projects that were there, and not over-promise Kenyans again? Can this government start respecting Kenyans? The word stupid coming from the president is not something right when referring to a Kenyan. The word idiot is not something that we should be hearing from the president. let the president talk about government programs. Let him not talk about Rigathi Gachagua, because like Rigathi Gachagua said today, Rigathi Gachagua is not a road, Rigathi Gachagua is not a water project. Let the government talk about, and let the government stop chest dumping. People like Kamket telling us they can manufacture a president for 24 years. I mean, what are you telling Kenyans? I mean, under this constitution, people like Oscar Sudi telling Kenyans that whether you want to like it or not, there'll be a second term. Let us be humble, and most importantly, let us remember God's commandments. Thou shalt not kill. We have killed Gen Zs. Thou shalt not steal. We have stolen from this, from the resources of this country. And thou shalt not give false testimony. There has been very many lies told. So we are saying, let us at least respect God's commandments.
Okay, what a way to wind up the program tonight. Thank you so much to Mheshimiwa.
Why are you allowing Nyoto to say
But you had already concluded.
You have something to say.
these are just lying, which...
But that stands to be his opinion, as well as the same opinion we had earlier on from you.
Okay.
Mheshimiwa Ruku, the Member of Parliament for Mbeere North, did you want to counter or banter?
You see, the issue of having such a crossing remark is not very right, because no one who was stolen this government from that. You know, I heard Gachagua were talking about 104 billion Kenya shilling for implementation of a network. There's nothing like that. There's nothing that such a thing which has been implemented with such amount of money. We sit in Parliament. We call for papers to be submitted in Parliament. There's nothing like that that has been submitted on the floor of the House through the Departmental Committee of Health, that there's a network for a health system which is costing 104 billion Kenya shilling. You know, there are so many disinformation and misinformation which is being thrown right left the center. For instance, I have seen on the social media people talking about Finance Bill 2025, which is a crazy one. There's not even a single member of Parliament, including Joy here, because he's a member of Parliament, who has seen Finance Bill 2025. No minister who has seen anything like that. So why do you want to peddle street rumors in such a serious discourse, in such a serious debate? That is where we are wrong. We are going wrong when senior leaders in the Republic of Kenya also decide to do disinformation and misinforming Kenyans. But having said that, Kenya Kwanza administration is far on the course, and that's why even the Moody rating has rated this economy as one of the very promising economy.
At the end of the day, gentlemen, you are in the House, National Assembly, Senate. Kenyans wait service delivery and the passing of laws and holding the powers that be and the officers that be accountable. Mheshimiwa Geoffrey Ruku, he is the Member of Parliament from Mbeere North, as well as Joe Nyoto, a Senator for Murang'a County, our guest tonight. My name is George Maringa. Thanking you for your patronage and for watching the Daily Report tonight. As always, stay safe and be kind to one another. I'll see you next time.